Hello, Mayor, Council members, committee members, and members of the public. My name is Helen Miller, and I'm the City of Oxnard's Chief Information Officer. Today, I have the honor of presenting this agenda item seeking approval and execution of a blanket purchase order agreement with Insight Public Sector for the city's computer network infrastructure in an amount not to exceed $770,000 over a 2-year period. So what is network infrastructure? Network infrastructure refers to all hardware, software, services, and facilities of a computer network that make network or internet connectivity, management, business operations, and communication possible. Our city's current network is comprised of 200+ physical components, which support the delivery of resident services across 27 city sites. In October 2019, Council approved network infrastructure refresh funding to replace and upgrade unsupported and unsecured hardware components. At that time, the average age of network equipment was 12 years old. The current state, in the 2 years since that approval, IT has replaced and upgraded portions of the network, embracing current modern network design and architectural concepts, and reduced the average equipment age from 12 to 6 years. This is a 50% improvement. However, there are still network components as old as 10 years. Useful life is typically no more than 5 to 7 years. Equipment is already or soon to be decertified by the manufacturer, meaning the city remains dependent upon obsolete or soon to be obsolete network infrastructure. Maintaining a refreshed network provides significant benefits to the city, such as a scalable, resilient, agile, secure, and efficient architecture that is responsive to evolving regulatory, strategic, and operational opportunities, a fully vendor, manufacturer supported environment, intentional redundancy for business continuity, expandable for new business best practices and technology industry standards adoption, increased bandwidth for city growth and innovation, along with building a foundation for future data and analytics business capabilities that support things like a smart city. IT network admin improvements, for example, automated services and internal controls, mitigating errors and administrative burden. The blanket purchase order authorization with Insight Public Sector provides flexibility for the city's short and long-term business technology success. Insight is the current technology value-added reseller that's authorized in the city's network infrastructure vendor agreement. They offer access to competitive public purchase agreements. IT uses Insight for network equipment, infrastructure and operations system software, annual maintenance and support agreements, and lastly, infrastructure and operations professional services as needed. The scope of work for this blanket PO includes amounts that will allow for scheduled replacements and a contingency for unforeseeable needs in times of crisis, both man-made and natural. For example, with the pandemic, manufacturer shortages have resulted in increased costs to businesses as well as an increased time to have equipment delivered. It also includes costs for licensing, maintenance, software updates, and associated infrastructure operations professional services for the network to run optimally and to be protected from malicious threats. And lastly, it provides network refresh and upgrades that are planned for the fire stations, secure and reliable connections between the stations, central command, and vehicles that are out in the field, and the police department and throughout city libraries to ensure secure services are provided to residents and patrons of the city. Here's a table of the projected expenditures by category for this vendor over the next 2 years. The first category is annual maintenance and support for current equipment. That's $300,000 over the 2-year period. And then we have network infrastructure improvements to modernize and replace, estimated at $400,000 for the 2-year period. And lastly, a 10% contingency. Funds for these expenditures are budgeted in IT's current fiscal year budget and will be requested in future fiscal year budgets. In addition, portions may also be allocated to other department budgets and grants as applicable. In closing, there's the recommendation that the City Council approve and authorize the mayor to execute a blanket purchase order in an amount not to exceed $770,000 with Inside Public Sector over a 2-year present period. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.